Good morning. It is 8:20 a.m. on Monday, February 17th, 2020. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So I do have a work holiday today for President's Day, I guess. That's such a weird day to continue to be a holiday. I feel like it doesn't have the same sort of cultural gravitas as our other major holidays, but at the same time, everybody kind of, things have to be spaced out a little bit. It's like people feel like you need something in February. I don't know, and I don't think it like doesn't make any more sense that it should be Valentine's Day. I don't think, but it's fine. Um, but yeah, so doing all right. I am still sick, unfortunately. It is one of those things where I'm kind of on the edge of going to urgent care or something and seeing if they think I need antibiotics or whatever. But, you know, the truth is, it's an infection of some kind or other. Probably, well, they can last 2 weeks easily. And so I'm kind of right at a little bit over 1 week. So kind of just working through it, suffering, pretty typical, winter sort of thing. But so in the meantime, just kind of hanging out. I don't have anything specific planned for today. I had like these vague ideas of running various errands. I kind of need to get a haircut, things like that. But I also kind of feel like maybe I could just keep hanging out. I did get, I did buy Dreams, which is now out on PlayStation 4. I talked a little bit about that on what, Saturday? Maybe Friday. I don't remember exactly now. I did get it. I've played around a little bit more with it. It does seem like it's doing all of the things that I want it to do, but I also feel like I maybe bought it because it was new and less because that was like what I really felt like playing right now. So I'm considering whether I might also get Control, which is a game I've heard a lot of good things about, and it's a little bit more actiony, which I think is kind of like what my brain feels like it wants to play right now. But Dreams I will definitely be continuing to explore more later. But Mike and I recorded talking about Survivor and our 2020 Oscar wrap up last night. We're experimenting with a new format for talking about Survivor where the episodes are going to be shorter and less focused on a scene by scene breakdown, more focused on like highlights and segments. And so we'll see how that goes. I feel like the first episode went relatively well, but it's an adjustment. So, in the meantime, that's kind of where we're at. I feel like a big chunk of yesterday. Well, okay. I'm just trying to think, like, what else did I even do yesterday? I have been re listening to the King Killer series books. I say re listening, it feels a little bit weird. You could also call it rereading. Essentially, I read those books in print the first time, and now I'm listening to the audiobook. These are, of course, The Name of the Wind and Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss, which are, in my opinion, great books. I'm certainly not the only one who thinks so. They are, very entertaining fantasy books. I remember back when I first read Name of the Wind, the way I described it is that Kvoth, the main character of the story within a story, and sort of within the framing story too. It's complicated. I sometimes joked that he's a min-maxed D&D character who makes terrible decisions. Um, by that I mean that he is good at pretty much everything he tries to do, but also does frequently make terrible decisions. But I like that the larger framing device of an older version of this character telling the story is very aware of those terrible decisions and doesn't like try to pass them off as not terrible. It's got some really great stuff in it. Like, I mean, I am sort of pseudo reviewing books that are many years old at this point. I'm not 100% sure what inspired me to pick those back up again. I certainly had a bunch of Audible credits stacking up, so that was one thing. But I know that like this like Song of Ice and Fire is one of those series where it's been a while waiting for this book 3, which is supposed to finish the trilogy. And on the one hand, I certainly am a believer in this idea that like Patrick Rothfuss does not owe me a book, right? I'm not holding anything against him for taking so long. That said, I would like to read book 3. I'm excited for it. I hope that he does finish it and that I can read it sooner than later. But I think it's also important to recognize that, uh, it's very possible for people to take that feeling and turn it into some sort of an entitlement, which is just not actually how it works. It's like, gosh, my thanks for this guy writing 2 books that I'm really pleased with is to be mad at him for taking too long to write the 3rd one. No, that's not how that works. But in the meantime, re-listening to those has been fun. Just taking in those stories again. So I think I've kind of had those running in the background while I do lots of other things, miscellaneous things, and that's kind of what's currently occupying my brain space. So in any case, I'm going to leave it there for today, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.